Welcome to Mysteries, Myths, and Legends. I'm Taylor.
I'm Savannah.
Welcome to the show. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Happy Wednesday. Before we record every time, Taylor always does a countdown, but she always does it super fast. And
yeah, if you guys want to hear it, I'll do it for you. Okay, I'm like, okay, Savannah, are you ready? And
yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Okay, and then I'll be like, okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
See, yeah, and I always think I'm going to have more time, but I don't.
No.
Like, I was in the middle of taking a breath, and then I had to, say myself.
Well, you should know by now that I'm going to do that, because this is episode 51 of Mysteries, Myths, and Legends. Mm-hmm. And we said we wasn't going to say that, but it's just crazy to say 51, baby.
Yeah, it's 51.
Hey. If you wouldn't mind, please go rate and review us on Apple Podcast and Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We had a lot of stuff in the past couple weeks, in case you missed it. So I have literally no other intro topics because we've exhausted everything I have to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, so
there's still crazy stuff going on in the world, but we're not going to bring that into it. That kind of stuff's all that's been on my mind. Nothing really personally
same
to report on, which is the more fun stuff to talk about.
Exactly.
So
anyways, I have a really fun story this week.
I have one that I think is pretty fun.
Oh, okay. Let's get into
interesting.
It.
Yeah, so mine this time, I think all of mine sort of have some history involved. This one has a
Savannah,
good
the history buff.
I know, I like doing that stuff. But, I was actually helping Adriana with her homework, her 7th grade homework with, they were learning about World War II.
Oh, that's fun.
So I had to help her with that yesterday. Yeah.
I probably wouldn't know that much to teach someone.
Well, she had to just answer some questions, and some of them were pretty easy, even if you didn't really know.
Oh, true.
What was going on. I don't know. 7th grade stuff is it honestly, some of the stuff is way harder than it was when we were in 7th grade.
Oh, definitely.
But the math.
The math?
Helping her do math.
Excuse me, the math? Wait, okay, just a little tangent. Did you know that they do math in a completely different way now? And I know that I sound 800 years old when I say that. But even multiplication, they don't do it the same way as we do.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me because that's what our parents said too. They just change it every few years.
How can you just change math? See, this is why I've said it from the beginning. I'm not good at math, never will be. And I don't understand how math can change. That makes zero sense.
Me too. All right, let's
math
move
tangent
on from
aside.
Yeah, okay. So, this week I have a myth.
Ooh,
I don't know if we've really done myths. That's in our title, but I don't know. It's a myth / a curse, possibly, of chain messages. Okay.
Chain messages. Interesting.
So, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Those chain emails or, those text messages that we all have gotten that say, forward this to 10 friends.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
Savannah always forwards it to me. Every time.
The text message ones, because they're funny.
Oh, they're funny.
It's not really because I think anything's going to happen. I just think they're funny.
Of course, they're hilarious.
Yeah. But a lot of these messages have a threatening aura. Mm-hmm. And they're if you don't send it out, you'll die.
Yeah.
But if you do, then you could become a millionaire.
Yeah.
Or you could just get bad luck,
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on the message. But these letters just explicitly ask the recipient to make or purchase copies for distribution. And this can possibly be connected to a mass curse or mass good luck. So yeah, I guess we'll get there, but these letters have actually been around for a long time. Surprisingly, I didn't really realize that.
That's crazy. I remember getting them in middle school, but now I'm just realizing I did just get a phone in middle school, so it probably was going on before then.
Yeah, exactly. Did you get them when you got an email address for the first time?
I don't think I ever got any email ones.
Oh.
I don't know.
I would.
I wasn't a big email girl.
See, I got an email address and stuff before I was allowed to text.
Mm-hmm.
So my friends would email them to me.
Oh, well, that's so fun.
It's like similar to the text ones. But yeah, these have been around a long time. They were like by churches and institutions, like to
What?
raise money. And they were like not necessarily threatening at first. Like people try, like the first one that told people to make copies and send it back out was in 1888.
What? Are
A
you for
long
real?
time ago. Yeah.
Wow. I'm genuinely shocked by that.
Yeah, and if you think about it, like that was before anyone could copy it. You had to handwrite it.
Wow.
Like hand copy it and just send it out to all these people.
That is so funny.
Like I don't know. If I had to do that instead of taking 2 seconds to copy and paste it, I don't know if I would do it.
I would definitely not do it.
Right.
There's no question about it.
So there's this one letter from 1896 from Louisville, Kentucky, and it was like a letter sent out asking for the recipient to make 3 copies, which would have to be handwritten, and send it out to 3 people. And then they send the one that they received to the Louisville Orphans Home with 10 cents in it.
Oh,
So it was like a fundraiser.
okay. I mean, that's nice.
And it's like they each have a number at the top of it, and it was supposed to end at 58. So it's like, oh, we're trying to get this amount of money.
Yeah.
So it's like not really threatening. But then they become into like somebody took that idea and made it into more of a scam
Of course they did.
for money.
People love a scam.
Yeah. So in like the 1930s, this letter made its rounds, and this was like, I think this was still before people could make copies, but it was a letter that had like 6 spots for names and addresses, and it says like, write your name on the list and send to 5 friends you wish to bring prosperity to.
Oh.
And then send 10 cents to the person at the top of the list. It's always 10 cents. I don't know.
That's weird.
And then it says at the bottom, you're going to receive 15,625 letters, and you will get $1,536.50.
Wow.
Just for all the people who send it back to you. But it's like, I don't really know how they got that you're going to get that many back.
You're definitely not going to get that many.
Right.
You'll get
It's like,
some. You'll definitely get some.
So yeah, this was like during the Great Depression.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were hurting
they
for
had to
money.
do it for the money.
Yeah. A lot of people started doing this send a dime letter trend. It was a trend of the Great Depression. Like a TikTok trend, but
Yes.
you know.
Great Depression times, yes.
But the post offices like filled up with these letters,
Oh, wow.
which is kind of crazy. And it like slowed down after a few weeks, but the US Post Office declared that the send a dime letters were a violation of regulations. So
Oh.
like you're not allowed to do them.
Uh-oh.
So it's illegal now.
Oh, like even today?
Yeah, it's illegal.
Dang it. I was going to be like, I want to try that.
Yeah, you
Because I need money.
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, honestly, people will probably send me a quarter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know, maybe. And because of these letters, or something similar to this letter, a grocery store manager named Guy Harpool, he says that he made $400 through the chain letter. And in today's money, that's $7,500.
Okay, what? See, I need to get into this business.
Right.
Just kidding.
Like,
it's
I don't know.
illegal.
That seems like kind of a scam. But, yeah, he said, like, you had to sort of sell it to people and make them believe that you would actually get the money. So then he would actually get the money. Because it's like, people would see this and be like, I don't believe it. Like, that's fake. You know?
Yeah, I mean, of course.
And then there was another scam in 1978 that told people to send in $50, which is like $200 today, which is like, that's a lot of money.
Okay, that's a lot. I was even going to say $50 today is a lot.
Yeah, no, yeah. You're supposed to send $50 to the person at the top of this 12-person list, and then like move it one person up, and put your name at the bottom. But of course, like, a huge amount of money was promised. They're like, you're gonna make so much money doing this. And it wasn't illegal to do this one because, like, they got around it by doing it by hand. They would, like, hand deliver all the letters. But yeah, I don't think anybody really won, like, that much money off of this one.
Dang.
Because, like, I don't know, major scam. And then here is where they become more threatening. This is what we want, okay? This is the curse part. In 1982, there was this one that I have, like, a passage from. But it has, like, a Bible quote at the top. Mm-hmm. And, like, I'm not going to read the whole thing. Mm-hmm. But here's just so you can get the gist of it. So it goes, "This quote has been sent to you for good luck. The original is from the Netherlands. It has been around the world 9 times. Luck has been brought to you. You will receive good luck within 6 days of receiving this letter, provided you, in return, send it back out. This is no joke." It's in all caps. "You will receive it in the mail. Send copies of this letter to people you think need good luck. Do not send money, for the fate has no price tag on it. Do not keep this letter. It must leave your hand 96 hours after you receive it." It's like, where do they get these numbers?
Right.
First of all. An RAF officer received $70,000 after he sent this letter out. Joe Elliott received $650,000 and lost it because he broke the chain.
Oh.
So it's like,
break that chain, baby.
Yeah, so, like, they get super threatening, and then they have, like, details in it that make you want to believe it. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, would you send out a letter that said all this?
No. No.
You wouldn't believe it? Is that, like,
I would
somebody
not believe
broke
it.
the chain?
I would be like, okay, Joe, I'm sorry that you lost that money. Bam. I'm breaking the chain. I'm broke anyway. Like, it's not going to make a difference for me.
I mean, true, I guess. But this one doesn't cost you anything. It says, do not send money.
Oh.
And it also says, don't keep the letter.
Oh, well, then, yeah, I would definitely send it. I rescind everything I just said.
Oh, okay.
I didn't realize I didn't have to pay for that one.
Yeah, you have to send copies to your friends.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Savannah, obviously. I would be sending that to every person I ever met in my life.
Yeah, within 96 hours.
100% would do that.
Okay.
Would you?
Maybe.
You know you would.
Okay, so we're gonna focus on the threatening aura of these letters. So they can range from, like, being good luck, protection, charity, religion, advocacy. So, like, you saw, like, they started off with charity, and then now they're becoming like, oh, this is for luck. Mm-hmm. Or, like, they'll just say something bad will happen if you don't do it. So could this be true? Like, these things that people say in them. Mm-hmm. They, like, rely on people's fear and superstition, but, like, does the superstition and the energy that's put into them make them true? Like, what do you think?
I mean, maybe.
Like, will bad things happen just because the letter says it will? And, like, so many people have read it and poured their energy into it.
Maybe.
Like, people say that, like, when you put your energy into something, like manifesting, mm-hmm. you make it happen. So what if it can affect, like, these chain letters?
Honestly, probably true. And for relevant times, to add to your story, I've seen all over my For You page on TikTok, it's like a sound, like, of a ringing bell, and it's like, if you share this post or, like, duet it or whatever, you will receive $400. And you know what? I always do be saving it, just in case.
I had a whole thing on that, Taylor.
I'm sorry.
I was gonna get into that.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. We'll get there in a little bit. But yeah, they definitely, like, trigger emotional response, and, like, especially people who are into the supernatural or spiritual, just, like, messages like this that say, like, you have to do this within this certain time or else. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah.
And yeah, with the TikTok ones, there'll be like TikTok sounds that say, "Oh, I'm manifesting everyone who uses this will get good luck."
Mm-hmm.
Or if you don't use this, bad things will happen. Like I skipped this and my car
Yeah, I got
got
in an
towed.
accident. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like I have definitely fallen for these, but if you think about it, it's just like these chain letters. It's the same exact
It is
thing.
literally the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
But I still have, like, after doing all this research, I went on TikTok and I still fell for one.
No,
'Cause
exactly.
it's like they
Because,
make it so believable.
I mean, you don't want to risk it either, is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you really don't want to risk it. Like, what if you, and also, like, if you believe, like, the energy that you put into something is, like, what you'll get out of it, then you do need to do those things. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And I feel like if you believe that something bad will happen to you, if you don't do it, then it probably will. I mean, something bad's probably always going to happen to you. So, you know,
yeah,
eventually.
I guess so. Yeah, I know. And then a lot of people, like, argument for this not being like a real curse is that, yeah, bad things are going to
Always.
happen. And
Yeah.
if something bad happens right after you don't do this, then you're going to blame it on that.
Yeah. I see both sides, honestly. I really do.
Yeah, I know. Me too. It's just like, I don't know. When I was younger, I would get those like text messages in middle school and stuff, saying like, "Oh, you have to forward to your friends, like, or else." And I would actually be so superstitious about them.
Oh, I actually would be too. I really
Yeah.
would be.
I feel like nowadays, like the most recent ones I've gotten have just been funny.
Yeah, no.
But-
I only get funny ones now.
Yeah, but they used to not be funny.
No, they did not used to be funny.
Also, I have a traumatic story. No, not really traumatic, but one time I got one of those messages that said send that to 10 of your friends, and I sent it out. But this is before I had an iPhone, so it was on like my like slide up phone.
Yeah.
And you can like barely tell who you're sending stuff to. I accidentally sent the wrong message to 10 people.
Oh,
I
no.
sent a message that my mom had sent me saying, "I'm here to pick you up."
Oh, okay. Well, at least it only said that. But
Okay.
that's actually really funny.
Okay, but like how creepy is that for your friend to just say, "I'm here"?
I'm here to pick you up. Like, yeah, I would be scared. I'd be like, for
I'm
what?
pretty sure she called me like a nickname too. So it was like weird. I don't remember what she called me, but
Oh.
yeah, that's my one story with these chain messages.
That actually really is dramatic. That's funny.
Yeah. No, I was so mortified right after I did it.
Okay, wait, I need to know. Did you go back and resend the message that you were trying to send to the 10
I
people?
don't remember. I think I might have.
I hope you
Because I
did.
was still like, oh, the bad luck.
The bad luck is going to get me.
See, it got me because I didn't
It got
send
you.
it out.
It did.
But I was trying.
You didn't do it fast enough.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, have you ever fallen for one that bad that like something happened?
No, I don't think so.
Or has anything bad happened from not doing it? Or
Well-
not doing one of the TikTok things?
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm trying to think. Well, there's just a lot of bad things that have happened. So, I don't know. I feel like for me personally, even though I do so, I pretty much don't save the bad ones because I'm like, nah, whatever. Something bad's going to happen. But I do save the good ones because I only manifest good things for myself.
True.
So the ones that are like, you're going to get $20 if you
Yeah.
like the sound. I'm like, all right, like.
Yeah.
I know you just wanted to like, but I don't care. I'm going to like it because I want $20.
No,
so,
I know.
I'm going to say
And
no.
I'll like take or they say to use the sound.
Oh, yeah. I always make one, but I never post them.
I know. I make
so
them and
many
then I put it in
drafts.
my drafts.
Yep.
Yeah.
We are the same. Maybe I should like stitch all of the ones that are in my drafts together and post it as one big one.
Yeah, that
Follow
could
me on
be
TikTok.
major luck.
Yeah, does it like quadruple? I don't know.
It could. I mean,
I don't know. We don't know the rules.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's my fight for chain messages, that like maybe they have some validity just because like people put energy into them.
Yeah. Can we start it up
But-
again? Can we just start them? Also, what I was going to say is that the whole like chain messages also reminds me of like the Facebook posts that are like share if you love God. If not, you're going
Yeah.
straight to hell.
Yeah, that's like the same
Like the
type
same
of
thing. And I'm like, "Ugh, girly pop.
Yeah.
No.
See, I think it's kind of crazy though that they started off as like a way to just raise money,
I know.
and
It
then
was
now
so pure.
and then they turn into a scam.
Exactly.
And then
A
and
big
then
old scam.
now it's like a major scam but doesn't really hurt you in any way.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah. It's just basically
annoying.
like wanting your like likes and shares, basically, is what it is today.
Yeah, instead of money.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like, okay, fine,
Which
whatever.
is like, whatever. It's free. I'm bored. So I'll like it if I want.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
so
that
honestly,
was very interesting. I have received many a chain message in my day, but I have never really thought about them like that. Or if they were, well, I definitely have, but just, not in depth.
I know, because I've been seeing the TikToks recently, and I'm like, wait a second. Like, stuff
they
like
not?
this is, like, really, like, a curse, or, like,
I mean, it kind of is
it's
the modern day.
a myth, too, at the same
Oh,
time.
yeah,
'Cause
definitely
it's
a
definitely
myth.
fake, but also, I don't know.
But could it? I mean, could it be real? Like, if you
Yeah.
think about even the possibility of one of those being real, like, first of all, what if, say, a witch did one,
Exactly.
and
Like,
could
a lot of people on
actually,
TikTok say that
they're
like, oh, I'm
witches.
a witch. I did it.
Exactly. Exactly. So who knows? Like, honestly, it could be true.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Very interesting. Well, this week for you, Savannah. See, Savannah had told me that for as much as I love aliens, we do not have nearly enough alien stories on this podcast. So,
Yeah, we don't.
of course, had to bring out the big guns. I have an alien story for you this week. I have the mystery of the Berkshire UFO sightings.
Oh.
Dun, dun, dun.
See, I was
Okay.
trying to find an alien story, but they're just, why are they so buried in the internet? It's like so hard
Because
to
they
find.
don't want you to know about the aliens,
I mean,
Savannah.
You're
Duh.
right. You're
Obviously.
Right.
But don't you worry, because I did my digging. I did a whole bunch of it. So buckle up. I'm going to set the scene as per usual. So it is September 1st, 1969 in Berkshire County, Massachusetts. And no, I did not look it up. So it could be Berkshire County. Don't know. But for me, I'm calling it Berkshire.
Yeah, I would too.
So in this county, there's only about 100,000 people that live there, which, I mean, sounds like a lot, but not really.
Yeah.
Not small, not huge, just medium. So, I today am going to recount several different people's stories of what happened to them. Now, what's important to know is that this is during the year 1969 on the same day, September 1st, okay? All of these stories happened on the exact same day.
Okay.
Countless, and I'm not going over nearly all of them, not even close. Like, I think I have like 4 or 5.
Okay. See, they were busy that day.
Oh, the aliens were super busy that day because there are like actual hundreds of people who have stories of what happened to them that day. So, specifically, I'll go over an overview of the night of September 1st. There was many, like countless sightings of people in the county that could only describe it to be a UFO. So, if you don't know what a UFO is, you're probably listening to the wrong podcast, but it is an unidentified flying object. So before I get into the story, I'm just going to put the disclaimer out there that not all UFOs, aka unidentified flying objects, have aliens driving them, okay? They could just be like military or like even like other countries. I don't know. They have science is so big and broad these days. Who knows what kind of contraptions and machines we got.
I mean, it's just unidentified. That's,
Exactly. So just because it is a UFO doesn't necessarily mean it is an alien. But that's like the term UFO basically today is like tied with aliens now because it's just so much in the media. So actually, the government no longer uses the term UFO for an unidentified flying object. Did you know that?
Oh, I think I did know that, but I don't remember what the new word they use is.
Yeah, so it's still pretty close. It's instead of UFO, it's UAPs. So unexplained aerial phenomena.
Oh, right.
So
yeah, probably because everybody was thinking, like,
yeah, they're like,
immediately
it's
thought
an
of aliens.
Exactly.
So.
So yes. So, but anyways, back to the Berkshire UFO sightings. Okay, so I just want to say, as wild as some of these stories are, it's no, in my mind, it is no coincidence that all of these people have all of these very similar stories from this day. Like, something was definitely happening here. I don't know what it was. I mean, I do. It was aliens, but like, something happened here, and that's 100%. So, I will start with the story of Tom Warner. He said that he remembers waking up and he was laying on the ground and there was a bright beam of light shining on him. Like, he was like laying outside in his front yard. Okay.
That's creepy.
Like, and he was like,
Bright
what?
light.
Like, how? First of all, why am I in my front yard? Second of all, what is this bright light? So he claims that as he was laying on the ground, he was just like kind of stunned for a minute, obviously. And once he like could finally see through the light, he saw a UFO flying around 40 feet above him. And it had lights that were colors that he could not even like describe. It was colors that he had never seen in his life before.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so that's pretty interesting because first of all, I would like to see colors that I've never seen before. That sounds very crazy.
Yeah, it's like, how can you even do that? Because
Exactly.
like the human eye can only
Only
see certain
see, yeah,
colors.
I know. Who knows? But
That's what
honestly,
I thought,
alien
anyway.
technology, who knows what they got going on.
Yeah.
So that was the first story. That concludes the first story. That's all that happened to little baby Tom Warner. So obviously to the skeptics, and honestly even me at this point, I wouldn't believe this man because he's got no proof. I mean, he just said he was laying, he saw a UFO. I mean, I could say that, so.
Right.
But it's also important to mention that at the time that this was happening, the term UFO was like not a thing. I mean, it was in the government, but like it wasn't used like daily basis like it is today. Like not many people knew the term UFO. And so he was like, he didn't even describe it as a UFO. He was like, there was a huge ship, but it wasn't like a plane. Like he wasn't saying like, oh, it's an alien. He was like, this is a big thing that I've never seen before and I don't really know what it is.
Okay, see, that makes me believe it more.
I know. So I know. I wanted to give him a little credit here because. So all he knew, he was like, all I knew is something really weird is going on and he didn't know how to explain it. But of course he had heard of aliens. So he was like, maybe it's aliens. So in the same town, there was a man named Tom Reed and he had a much different story than little Tommy Warner. So the first story was very vague, not many details, as you heard. But Tom Reed's, nope, it was quite the opposite. So what's important to know about Tom Reed is that on September 1st, 1969, he was 9 years old. So that makes me like, and it doesn't say how old Tom Warner, but the fact that he was 9 years old, this little Tom Reed, I was like, is he reliable? Don't know. Because, kids can say some crazy things.
Yeah, and it depends on if he heard other people's stories or not, right?
Exactly. However, that is not the case. I just wanted to preface that before. So Tom Reed says that he was riding in his car with his mom, grandma, and little brother. And he was just like chilling in the backseat with his little brother. And he was handing him a piece of candy, like his little brother, when his grandma turned around, like to face him, because she could see like lights coming up behind them. And she was like, dang, those bright lights, like who's riding my butt? That's what I would say.
Yeah.
So they all like kind of started to look and try to see what it was, like what they were doing. But it wasn't a car. It was a huge glowing bright light over the bridge and trees. And they were like,
oh my God.
what is that? They were like, what is that? And the only way that he can describe it is like that they were suddenly in like a middle of a hurricane, because like all of the power and pressure that was like surrounding them as the light was moving closer and closer to them. And I'm like, what? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of insane.
Right. And so the light is moving closer and closer and closer until it reaches both sides of the road that they're driving on. And that's all that he can remember, he says. He says after that moment, the next thing he knows, he's waking up like from like a sleep or a trance or whatever. But as time went on, Tom claimed to remember more and more. So now I do believe the first part because his mom and brother and grandma also were there and also like kind of like was like, yeah, we saw some bright lights. But the rest of it, I feel like he just made it up to make it seem more juicy of a story.
Yeah, like added details.
Yeah. So later he said that he had been taken aboard a tarnished circular looking vessel where there was like a picture of a willow tree displayed and he was like in an empty room.
Okay.
I'm like, okay. And then he also says that he saw a creature that resembled an ant with some human features and that also its head was a football shape. I'm like, okay, hey Arnold, who?
Right, like that's immediately what I thought of.
So obviously, there's no proof of this, and he was also a little boy. But since then, like his story has stayed consistent. Like he hasn't like changed it, other than the fact of adding those like 3 little details. Like he's 6 to this day. He was like, "That's what happened," and you can believe. He does say like, "You can believe me or not believe me," but that's what happened. So I don't know. At this point, I'm still a little iffy if I won't lie. But
Yeah.
no. Trust me, it gets a lot crazier than this. So
Oh God. Okay.
So this story, like at the time in 1969, media it was just starting to kind of get big. So like it wasn't a huge trending topic on Twitter, obviously.
Yeah.
And people were being like highly judged and stigmatized by other people in town if they were coming out and saying like they had been abducted or if they had seen the UFO. So it's not like people wanted to like willingly tell this story. Like if that happened to me, obviously I would tell everyone. But during this time, people were like, "You're crazy." Like if you talk about aliens, like obviously that's not real. So people stopped telling the story, and the legend and mystery of this kind of died until 2020, the year that changed it all.
Oh God, they really jumped forward, didn't they?
It really did. So 2020, the old TV show Unsolved Mysteries decided it's going to make its comeback, and it released a new season in 2020. Now there's 2 seasons. Definitely watch it because it's really good. And so they did an episode on the Berkshire UFO sightings, which I was like, that's crazy because normally it's about ghosts or like murders or something,
Yeah.
not like aliens. But yeah, so I was super excited. So the people in the show had never previously told their experiences to anybody. So I'm going to just paraphrase what some of the people in the show said. I'm not even telling all the people's that were in the show story. Like there are so many stories. I literally just can't even express to you. Like it just has to be real. Some part of this story has to be real. But if you would rather me not spoil it for you and you would rather watch for yourself, it's season 1, episode 5, and it's called The Berkshire UFO. So, yeah. So, one woman who lived in Berkshire County, she was just driving, just as everyone else seems to have been doing. Driving, said she was hanging out with some friends and was driving back home for the night when she came upon a bunch of lights. And she had just assumed like it was like a really big car accident at first, as you probably would. But she said as she got closer, the lights got brighter and brighter, and she eventually had to pull over because she literally couldn't see, like, to drive because the lights were so bright. And she said that all of the cars like around her were all doing the same thing. Like they could not see to drive. So everybody was just pulling over and like getting out of their cars. And I was like, what the heck is that? And so then after like everybody's like stopped on the road and getting out of their cars, they all see, but specifically this woman, sees a huge flying object floating there. And she said it was just so weird because it wasn't making any noise. Like you can hear planes and helicopters and all that.
That's
no sound.
That's really weird.
Complete silence. And then just a huge ship looking thing. I would be so freaked out. First of all.
If I had to stop my car, like...
Oh, right. Like, that's something serious. Right. So then they're just all looking at it and they're like, what the heck is this silent craft in the air flying?
Right.
And then she said it shoots up just a little bit, like a couple hundred feet, and then to the right, and then it flew away up over the mountain. And then didn't come back. And she said she had absolutely no clue what she witnessed, and she never, to this day, well, go back to 2020, had never seen anything else like it in her whole life. And today she knows that it was an alien, but she didn't want to tell anybody at the time, like, because she didn't want to, seem crazy.
That's, oh my God.
I know.
Okay, what about all those other people?
All
Do
the
they
other
not
people.
believe it? They forget?
No, they didn't forget. I'm telling you, their stories are told too.
No, all the people who were
Like in the
there
road.
with her. Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Huh.
Everybody's like, yeah. There was a huge ship flying in the air and it flew over. Like,
Oh
yeah.
my
Like
God.
it happened.
That's
So,
insane.
I know. So, moving on to another little boy. And this is where I'm going to tell you my own personal theory, okay? I excuse me. I did say that I was only covering a couple of stories. So there's like 5 I think on here
Right.
out of hundreds. But and I did not look these up in any way. They were just the ones that came to me first. And every single male that I have talked about in this story, including this next boy that I'm about to talk about, has been named Tom, Tommy, or some version of it.
That's weird.
And I think that's
Wait.
weird. Okay? And I think that's really weird. I've checked, fact checked, none of these are the same Tom. None of them.
my
They all
God.
have different last names.
Okay.
So that's also weird. I do have some, the first woman, she didn't, the woman I just talked about, the first woman in the show, she didn't want to
Yeah.
be named. So like that makes me believe her even more. She was like, I don't really want to be
Her
named.
name is also Tom.
Her name is also Tom. Exactly. They're just coming to get the Toms. So if your name's Tom, you really better watch out. But anyway, so there is another little boy named this one Tommy. So
Okay.
he also had an experience that night. So he was at his friend's house, which is also right across the street from his house. So he was
Okay.
just chilling at his neighbor's house, coloring, he says, with little crayons. He really remembers. And all of a sudden, he had just the urge to walk over to the window. First of all, that is so weird.
Yeah. Can
Okay.
you imagine, like, you're babysitting these kids and they just stand up and walk towards the window?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But so, and he said he was, how old do you think he was? He was 9 years old, which is also weird because the other one was 9 years old, if you can remember. So
Yeah, that's weird.
strange. So he said, obviously, he just got up and walked to the window, like his little brain told him to. And then as he was looking out the window, he says a voice inside of his head told him that he needed to get out and go home right now.
What?
Excuse me? So now, before I move on with Tommy's story, I would like to point out that in like most alien stories and experiences that people have, like a lot of them claim that like when they speak to aliens, they don't actually use their voices, that it is in their heads. So I feel like that's crazy that that little boy said that.
Yeah,
'Cause, like,
that's probably...
He had no idea that that was like a thing, you know? Crazy. So he said that the voice scared him so bad and he just knew that he had to listen to it. So he literally just goes up to his friend. He's like, yo, I'm leaving, and runs out of the door. Like runs full speed out of the door.
Oh my God.
So he's running as fast as he can, right? And it's just across the street. So it's not like he has to run far. And his mom sees him across the street out of her window. And she's like, what is he doing? And his mom is also in this episode, okay? So they're both telling their stories from their perspectives.
Okay, yeah.
So Tommy is just running as fast as he can. And he's like, this feels like forever. Like, what? He just can't seem to make it home. But his mom saw it differently. When she looked out of the window and saw Tommy, he was running in place for 5 solid minutes.
What?
Yeah, like he was running and she could see that he was running and he could feel that he was running because he was, but in place. Like as if he was on a treadmill, but was not.
Why did... Okay, if it was really 5 minutes, I feel like I would walk over to my son and get him.
Okay, I feel
Like,
like
what's he
she
doing?
was exaggerating because it probably to her felt like 5 minutes. Like, first
Yeah,
of all,
probably.
if I saw my son doing that, I would be in shock. I'd be like,
True. I'd be
what
like,
is going on?
What's wrong with him?
Right, like maybe he has a demon. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I would probably give it just a second, but then I would also run. So I kind of feel like it's one of those things where she was like, it just felt like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he's running in place, right? And so after however amount of time goes on, he was able to stop running. And at this point, his mom is just now like coming out of the door. Because like, she was taking her sweet precious time. And so he was able to stop running and he just turned to look to the left for some reason. and he saw a huge UFO in the sky. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh no.
So then it pointed a huge light beam at him, which was so powerful that it like threw his arms back, like as if it was like some sort of like a fan, you know, like it just threw his arms back. And his mom is watching this whole thing and confirms like this literally happened. So that's also crazy. And
What is with these lights? Like,
right.
oh my god.
Right. So they both see the light. They both were like, yeah, we saw this huge bright light. And the next second, Tommy disappeared. Gone. Like his mom was like, he was just gone. Completely gone.
What?
Where did
Well,
he
I
go?
guess he came back because
Yeah, he does tell the story. So he does
he
come
told
back.
the story.
He does. But for now, I'm going to move on.
Oh my god.
I'll leave you with that mystery for now. But here we are, moving on to another woman who's named Melanie. And
Okay.
so she was also 9 years old at the time, which I'm like, okay, this is starting to become a trend and weird. So, because, I mean, like the first woman story that I told, the no-named woman, she was like in her 20s at the time. And it didn't take her.
Okay.
She saw it, but it didn't take her.
Yeah, why is it 9-year-olds? Like,
Mm-hmm. So, let me see. I lost my spot. So she was 9 years old, and her family were driving up to the lake at night. And it never really says why they were driving up to the lake at night. I guess maybe they had a cabin or something. I don't know. But they had just pulled into the lake where they saw none other than a huge, bright light.
Of course.
And her dad was like, what? And so he was like, well, there's no logical explanation, so let me just chase it. And apparently his wife was like super mad. She was like, don't you dare chase this light. I'm just saying, personally, I would have definitely chased the light. Would you?
I don't know.
Well, I have seen a UFO before and I chased it. So,
Okay, when you were 9 though.
no, it was like in the past year, so.
See, maybe I would now, but like when I was younger, I probably wouldn't have.
Well, I mean, her dad was old.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not old, you know, but like, I'm saying I would chase it. So, anyway, he was like, yeah, I'm chasing it. So, which I completely agree. I would do the same thing. So, that's the last thing that the youngest daughter remembers of that night. So, not Melanie, but her like little sister. She was like, the last thing I remember is like dad started chasing this bright light. And that's the last thing that she remembers. But Melanie, no. She has a different memory. She claims that she remembers levitating and being pulled onto a ship.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. So now here is where the story really gets interesting. So Tommy, little baby Tommy, remember he disappeared?
Yeah.
We're bringing him back. Tommy and Melanie claim to have been taken and put on this ship.
Did they meet each other?
Tommy says that while he was on the ship, he looked over to his right and Melanie was sitting beside him. Melanie says that she doesn't remember any specific people. Like she didn't like take into consideration anybody what they actually looked like. But she said that what she does remember is that she was in a room on the ship and it was like completely white and it was filled with children. All of them were her age. And like many were brought into the room and taken out. Like it was just like constant flow of like bringing them in, taking them out, bringing them in, taking them out.
That's so weird.
Yeah, so
I wonder what they're doing to these kids. Like,
right. That's what I'm saying.
what do they need?
Like, what do they need these 9-year-olds for? Right. And so, but what is weird is that when they eventually, Tommy and Melanie met in real life was when they were filming the show. And she said that when she met him, she didn't realize who it was at first. You know, she was like, hi, I'm Melanie, whatever. It could have been anybody. And she felt like she knew him. Like, just felt like she had definitely known him before. So I'm like, that's crazy. Like, what happened on that ship? I don't know. But
yeah, that's really weird. So like he didn't know it was her because he had never met her.
Yeah, no, they had never met each other. But he just like remembered. Like he wasn't like, oh, I met Melanie on the ship. He just like looked to the right, saw what she looked like, and was just like looking around. But then later when they met, he was like, oh my gosh, you were on the ship with me. So who knows?
That's such a like weird coincidence.
I know. And that's all that they remember. So
So they don't know why they were there either.
No, they don't know why they were there. And so all of them, all of the kids, all the people that I've talked about that went missing, ended up waking up all lying on the ground near where they were taken. Like all like Melanie was somewhere around the lake, but she wasn't in the exact spot. Same with Tommy, same with all of them. They were all in the right place, but not in the exact area at all. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's weird.
What happened to his mom, like Tommy's mom?
Tommy's mom. Next bullet, baby. You read my mind.
Okay.
So Tommy's mom said, guess how long Tommy was gone for? Obviously, she's freaking out during the time that he's gone. She's like, I don't know what happened. She like runs over to where he was. He's not there. You're guessing.
I'm guessing not that long.
Yeah, not that long at all. Tommy was missing for only 7 minutes.
7 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Oh
yep.
My God.
And then there he was. Boom, bam, right back down in the field, just a little bit away from his neighbor's house. Like, just like a block down.
Good for them, but like that, that's...
I know.
7 minutes.
I know. Like, girl, that was fast. What are they doing? They got chips? Like, what do they have? Don't know. And nobody, like, seems to remember anything about, like, being probed or anything else like that aliens are known for. Like, no, I don't remember that.
They... Okay. I don't know if you have this written down or not, but here's a crazy theory that all of those kids were actually hybrid alien humans.
Okay, I did
and
not.
And they
have that.
were taking them to do like a checkup on them.
I mean, oh my gosh, yes, their 9-year checkup appointment.
Yeah, and then never again.
Listen,
but like they were checking up on them.
That's crazy, and that could very much so be true. That could so much be true. Wow. Yeah. Side note: if you guys haven't already, a podcast similar to ours is Mile Higher. Savannah, have you listened to the one for this week?
Yes, I think that's what sort of gave me that idea.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. So, you'll have to everybody go check out Mile Higher podcast. It's amazing. But their most recent episode, they talk about a man who claims to like have had many alien babies, but like he's never met any of them.
Yeah, he's met like 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah, well, true. I haven't listened to the whole episode, but
okay.
Yeah, so what if these are his babies? And he just don't even know. I don't know. I don't know. That's crazy. That's a crazy thought. Okay, another really interesting fact. I didn't mention it in any of the ones I talked about before, but literally every single one of these stories that I have talked about and many other ones that I did not like write about can recall this really weird thing, which I don't really like at all. So they recall when they were awakened, like lying on the ground wherever they were, they remember hearing frogs, bugs, and other animals making like really, really loud sounds, like just loud animal sounds. Like the frogs were ribbiting real high, like the birds were chirping a lot more than normal. And so immediately that takes my mind to animals. Like, if you don't know this, animals like have like a sixth sense in a way to know like when something's wrong. So for one, animals know if there's a ghost. Obviously that's not proven, but what is proven is that animals know about natural disasters and before they happen.
Yeah.
So like if there's like a hurricane coming or a tsunami, like the animals near the town, like near wherever that's happening, will like run away or like scream in panic because they know something bad's gonna happen. So the fact that they're like screaming and really loud, I'm like, maybe they know that's something bad. I don't know.
Or just something
different.
Exactly. Something not natural.
Exactly. So I don't know. Let me see here. Here's a point, a very interesting point. So we know that like animals can react to like ghosts, right? Like dogs bark if there's a ghost, allegedly. Who's to say they don't react the same way to beings of other planets, such as aliens? Like maybe it wasn't afraid of the ship. Maybe they were like personally, my dog, Cole, she hates men. And it's because her vet is a man and, he had to give her shots. Obviously, she hates men. So anytime a man comes around, like she is evil mode. even though she's like the sweetest little thing. So I'm like, maybe like the animals on Earth just have like a natural like evil mode for aliens. I don't know.
Evil mode. It's like a switch.
Exactly. I mean, who knows? Who's to say? We can't do, tests on that. Maybe one day. Anyway, so I lost my spot. Okay, no. So, in conclusion, I feel like it would be extremely hard, and no, basically not even hard, impossible for all of these people, all different ages, to have gotten together all in this county and been like, let's make up this fake UFO story. You feel me?
Yeah, no, honestly, I feel that too. Because, yeah, like, why would they, too?
Why? Literally,
Like-
why? Without unsolved mysteries, honestly, I wouldn't even be telling the story. Like, there would be no documentation of it. Not really.
Yeah, no, I definitely believe that something weird happened because so many people came out and said that.
Exactly.
They
And
did.
pretty much, it's like all the same story. Like, over and over and over again, it's all the same story.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. So, I really want to believe that it's aliens. And I really actually do believe it's aliens. But a part of me also wonders, like, is this just sort of some, like, government, like, experiment? Maybe both? I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. See, the ships in itself, like, I would say that they could be, like, some sort of, like, military thing.
yeah.
But then you bring in the fact that they're, like, abducting children.
I know. But
It's
also,
like,
like,
I don't know.
the government could do that,
Yeah.
or like, even, like, I think of, like, the latest season of American Horror Story where the government and the aliens, if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, maybe I won't say
I
it.
haven't seen it.
Okay, I won't say it. Fine, but no, I'm going to say it.
If you
Because
know,
it happened in real life, too.
Okay.
And I've already talked about it. The government and the aliens were working together. Not in any bad way, but they were just working together. So I'm saying, what if they were working together to, like, I don't know,
Yeah.
have a ship? I don't know. See if people would remember it. I feel like it's really weird that it's all in one county. Like, it almost seems like a control group.
Yeah,
you
no,
know?
definitely.
Oh, I don't know. I just really don't know. So the police in Berkshire County obviously have been questioned since then, since this is a very talked about topic now. And they pulled the records from the county sheriff's office from that night, September 1st, 1969. And there were only 2 calls made to the police.
What?
And
Why did nobody else call?
neither one of them were regarding any UFO. And so now that fact makes me be like, okay, either people thought it was like way too crazy to report. Like they were like, why would I do that? But a part of me,
Yeah.
no, I don't even believe that not one person would call it in. Hey, there's a really big flying ship with a really bright light and it's making me crash my car.
Right.
Like, so then now I'm just like, okay, now it is the government and they're hiding it. Like
Yeah,
they
like they
scrubbed the
deleted-
records.
Yeah. Yeah, they deleted all the calls.
Yeah, there's no way that there's no calls. Like, I don't believe that, period. Like, regardless, even if it was just, like, the government flying a new ship. No, I don't believe there wasn't any calls. So, let's see here. And, okay, so also, like, as we're going on saying, like, why would people say this story? Like, it just makes them seem crazy. Even me reading it, I'm like, even though I believe something happened to them, I'm like, yeah, they're so crazy. Like, they were on a ship with aliens. Like, what? So, in fact, Tommy says that he ended up telling his friends what happened, and after that, they were not friends with him anymore. He was, like, severely bullied, outcasted, and it ended up dropping out of school.
What? Oh
Yeah.
my god.
And so, like, that makes me believe him even more. Like, I just feel like the more that these people talk, the more credible they are, because I'm like, why would they ruin their lives like that?
Right. Yeah, why would you ruin your life by making up a story?
Exactly. Like,
if you could just be like, okay, guys,
okay, mine.
I'm just
haha.
kidding.
That was a good joke. Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. Also, if you ask the military what they have to say about the situation, people have, and all they said, literally quote, "It is a strange string of events, and it has nothing to do with us," unquote. What does that mean, Girly Pop?
Interesting. They don't say like, oh, this didn't happen.
No, they sure didn't say this didn't happen. They said, Interesting. Moving
They're like,
on.
oh, yeah, that's just weird.
That's super weird. Girl, I don't know what you were seeing. So, I don't know. What do you think? Were the aliens? Was the government?
No, I think you might be right that it could be both of them.
I really do. I really do. And don't ask me about history. I mean, I love history, but don't ask me about time periods. But I don't know who the president was at the time, and I should have looked it up. But if it was during President Eisenhower, that's even more like convincing to me because President Eisenhower worked very closely with the aliens, allegedly. But he even claims, him and his family. We already talked about this, but
Yeah.
yeah, crazy. But yes, that is the mystery of the Berkshire UFO sightings.
The president in 1969 was Richard Nixon.
Richard Nixon. All right. So, yeah. So the aliens. So Eisenhower was president right before Nixon because Nixon was his vice president, and Nixon didn't like aliens.
Oh.
And
well.
actually, Nixon was the one who convinced Eisenhower to not tell the people about aliens. So, and that's facts. That's actually facts.
Okay. See, maybe.
So maybe that's why it was covered up. Yeah, maybe that's why it was covered up. Nixon was like, nah, man, I already told you about these aliens. We're not dealing with them.
We're really just solving mysteries out here.
I mean, what can I say? What can we say? Don't come for us, government. We're just telling the truth. Hashtag aliens are real.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, there we go. That's that on that, fam. You wanted an alien episode, baby. You got it.
Yeah, so we have like a list of all of our stories and like a little graph of like what types of stuff we've covered, and the aliens I think is a good like 1%. So
sad.
I was like, we need to grow that.
As we will, and we will continue to grow that. Because aliens are like my favorite topic in the whole world, so.
Right, like I thought it would be more than that.
Yeah, well, first of all, alien stories are, one, hard to come by because people don't want to admit it, or two, unbelievable, or three, I don't even know. I had a third point and it's gone. So,
yeah,
there we go.
No, I get you.
But definitely check out our Instagram. I don't have any pictures of this. As I said, there is no actual proof, but it did happen. I mean, I know personally that it happened. I wasn't there. But
we can do like a clip of the show or something. I don't know.
Yes, definitely. I will put a picture of an alien up there because just that's fun.
Yeah,
So.
exactly.
But yes, check out our Instagram, rate and review us on Apple Podcast and Spotify. And if you're listening on Spotify, we'll probably put a poll or a question. Make sure to answer those because those are always fun to look at. And yeah, that's really all I have for you guys this week. What about you?
Me too.
All right, well, I guess we'll see you next week.
Okay, cue the music.